Hey, what's up you guys? We're back here today again for another Lightroom tutorial. And as you see on your screen, this image looks pretty much well done. But I'm going to show you a really cool trick that I have learned in the past year in order to get this image. So I'm going to reset the settings on this image so you can see what it originally looked like. So we're going to go reset edits. That's what it originally looked like. Now, I showed you all the copy and paste editing options back in this video up here, but I'm going to show you what the editing system I used looks like before I show you the really cool trick of masking your image. So it's a little bit too dark, and I really wanted to get her off of that background, but you see how the mask kind of still blends in, and I actually want to drive the contrast and the shadows a little bit darker, and she almost completely disappears. So I'm going to show you how exactly I fix that. So I'm going to reset the image one more time, and you got to do this masking bit before you start any of your edits. So I'll go over here to this little guy right here. It says masking. And then I'll do select subject, and the computer's AI, Lightroom's AI, is actually going to grab my subject and mask it for me so that we can do separate edits to keep her off of that background, because right now she's too close on that background. There's not a lot of distance. You can see the staining on that black paper, but as you can see, it's given her a bright red outline to show us that she is in fact the subject that's picked. Now we're going to go over to our edits, and I'm going to do Control V, just like, because I have those edits saved. And again, she's darker. We're actually going to bring the contrast even darker. We're going to bring down our blacks. We're going to leave it right here, and we're going to go back over to where it says masking, just like where we selected our subject. But instead of selecting a subject, we're going to click right up here where it says mask, and we're going to make some adjustments on her. We're going to bring the contrast down a bit, and that'll help bring out some of the shadows. But we're also going to lighten the shadows, bring the blacks up just a hair. But if you bring them up too far, you see how she's kind of glowing. Like, we don't want that at all. So we're going to leave that there. We're going to bring our clarity up just a hair. That shows a little more detail. We're going to bring our dehaze down. See how she's starting to form and appear in that image, but if we bring it down too far, she almost looks like she is glowing again. And then we're going to mess a little bit with our texture so you can see a little bit clearer. Now you can see how the buttons have appeared, or the breathing holes on the mask itself, but she is still too blended into that background. So I'm going to go back up to my edits now, and this is where I'm going to adjust my blacks and my contrast to try to help bring her off of that background a little bit without making her too glowy. And right now she's a little too glowy, so we'll go back over to the mask, and in the mask section, click on that guy right there. We might bring the contrast down just a hair and bring the shadows down so she's not glowing quite as much. But as you can see, the mask is still kind of sitting out. But I don't really like how dark this area on the mask is. And I don't like that she still kind of looks like she is glowing a little more than I'd like. So I'm going to bring the dehaze back up just a hair. And again, you can see we're starting to lose a little bit of that mask, and this is a super easy thing to solve. Add some texture to it, go back to our original settings. Is that too glowy? It's not too glowy, but it's almost too glowy. So we're going to bring the contrast down just a hair. And that is how you use the AI function in masking to get the edits the way that you want them. So now that that's set up like that, I'm actually going to come down. I'll probably mess a little bit with the clarity. No, I like the clarity how it was. Bring the texture up a little bit. And we're going to add a little more dehaze to help darken that background. But as you can see, the mask now sits very nicely. If we go back to the mask, I'm saying mask a lot. The Plague Doctor mask, you can actually see it, whereas without the mask, the Lightroom mask, this is how dark the image would be. You take away a lot of that. But learning how to use the AI masking in Lightroom gives you the ability to really enhance an image, really make an image look a lot different and a lot more fun. So what's cool about the Lightroom masking tool is I've been going through a lot of my old photos, and this is actually taken with a Nikon D5300 about 2 years ago, right before the world went crazy. And a lot of these photos never made it to the light of day simply because I didn't know how to use that Lightroom masking tool where I could pop her off of the background, because I like to edit that background, the actual black background, so the white doesn't appear so much. But as you can see, that's what my images were looking like. So using the AI masking tool that Lightroom has giving me the ability to bring out some of my older photos that I did not have the ability to publish before just because they didn't match the look that I had hoped for getting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoy making these kind of videos. If you'd like to see more Lightroom editing tips, just let me know down in the comments, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. Bye!